Hey, what's going on, everybody? Gooley here. Just got the baby brezza, and right now it's showing the infamous E4. So the water temperature isn't going up to what it should be, and today we're gonna fix that. So we're gonna start off by removing, first of all, the water tank. Okay, this is where the water tank goes, the back of it. And we're gonna remove 3 screws, all right, that it has. Sorry, 3 screws there. I took the water out, the water tank, and then I put it back on. It started filling up with the water that was in the lines. Took it off, drained it, put it back in, drained it a little more. It just kept coming up, so it should be pretty empty now. So we're gonna start here, take this off, then we'll lay it on its side, and we're gonna take every one of these screws that's on the bottom off. All right. So I removed the 7 screws to gain access to be able to remove the sides. So now for the sides, you just lift up, and it comes off. You don't want to try to pry on it because it's gonna break the tabs that actually hold it in place. Ooh. That was my nail. But yeah, it's hard with one hand. Give me a second, I'll be back and have it off. So now plastic tabs are off the side, and like I said, you just lift up. Now I will say this one, because it goes up like this, right? This little portion sits in where the screw actually goes into, and it was a little tough. Got out the flat head screwdriver, lifted it up, got it out of the hole, and yeah, just be patient with it. Don't break any of the tabs on the plastic. I'm sure it'll still function, but you might have little floppy tabs. So that's the circuit board. And on the other side, we have the water tank and the lines, which we're going to be taking off and cleaning as well since it's already off. Now I got to find that little thermal fuse, I think it is. Alright, so I removed a screw here and a screw here. So that's the back of it. You got to take the water tank out. And so it's probably just better to get this back off. I want to make sure I don't break anything. If we can take this back off and expose the screws for the tank, it'll make my life a lot easier to get to the thermal fuse. Take pictures, it'll help you remember how everything goes. So to take the bottom off, I use the screwdriver on this side to pry up on this little edge. I mean, you don't want to pry too hard. It's a little difficult with one hand, but you get the idea. So to get the bottom off, you want to pry on here. Then you got this little hole here. You can probably even use this one. Small little screwdriver. I already took the top off, so it has wiggle room from the bottom, but I'm going to take this off because it's difficult with just one hand. Alright, so that worked pretty easily, didn't break anything. And there is a tube that connects to, get it from this side better, to the bottom of the tank. So I mean, all these tubes are coming off, we're going to clean them, but you want to remember where they go. I mean, I'm pretty sure it shouldn't be too difficult because you're not going to put the long one at the bottom, but it'd be good to know where they go. Alright, so I see water in the line. So just to mitigate the mess, put a rag, you know, do the job right, because you want to get the job done, right? Sorry, little humor. Alright, so once you take that back off, you're gonna get a lot of water. Well, not a lot, but just the water that's in the system is gonna leak out through here. So just make sure you got the rags ready, and make sure you dry up because you are going to be working with electrical and you don't want it to fry your circuit board when you do actually turn it on. Alright, so now we're going to continue taking out the screws. If I'm not mistaken, I think these screws have to come out as well. You see them down at the bottom. I think they're holding the tank in place as well. I took this one off here, and let me see if I can get you to see it. I think that's the thermal fuse right there. So it'll focus on it. Probably won't, but that's it if I'm not mistaken. We'll find out here in a little bit. Alright, so once you've gotten all the screws out, you gotta move the circuit board out. You gotta take these screws that hold it in place here, that hold this, because it actually holds the bottle down. So you gotta take that off. Now I'm just gonna have to finagle it, because you gotta take this plastic off. And from those white wires is that the thermal fuse is connected to. So I'm gonna work on taking that off. These tabs here should release the plastic that's holding it in place. And I went on Amazon and grabbed some thermal fuses. They're all 77 degrees Celsius. That's what they're rated for. So I'm just gonna go ahead and try to pop this off. There is some water in here. I gotta put the screw back into here because I thought that was gonna be it, but it's not. So before you start prying, you're gonna have 4 screws holding that plastic piece at the bottom. So take those out, and then we'll work with the tabs. So once you get it out from here, you're gonna have this. You're gonna pull that off, and under this, almost like a heat shield, is where the thermal fuse should be. So we're gonna have to go ahead, get a very small driver to get this off. Oh, I'll probably get it off with my hand. No, we're gonna small driver, and hopefully it'll open up for us, show us what we need. So I got this little kit from Walmart, electronic repair kit, and it just happened to have perfect size for what I needed, and it would be a 5.5. So got that piece off. Got all the screws separated, and they're pretty much all the same, but so we're gonna take this off here. Should just come off the clamp. And yeah, now we gotta look at how this comes off. So I'll be back. Alright, so after just pulling it back, you can see it's a connector. So I'm just gonna pull this connector off so I can get a better look at it, and we'll go from there. Just this one. So I slid this thing off like a sock, you know what I'm saying? And sure enough, there it is. Zoom in, focus. 77 degrees Celsius, and that is what I have. So we're gonna figure this out now, and we'll be back after these commercials. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut it here and on the other end here, right? Because what we want to do is get that thermal fuse out, and I'm gonna use this splice, which is a red, smallest one. Run this in through one end and connect it to the existing wire that's on there, and I think we'll be good. Alright, so the fuse is spliced in. Now I'm gonna put this rubber back over it. Ooh, I don't know if it'll even fit now. That kind of sucks. I'm gonna have to figure this out. Alright, so putting this back in, that gasket has to sit flush in the seat that it sits in. Then you wanna, your best bet's gonna be to unplug these two white strips or white wires from your circuit board to be able to manipulate the plastic to go in. That's gonna be your best bet. And then just start putting everything back together. So then you button it all up. The panels, all the screws are in it. And we'll put some water in and we'll turn it on and then we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed. That is a good sign. Let's see, I'm just gonna test it out, see if we get some warm water from it. Once it heats up to the correct temperature, mon ami. Well, I am pleased to say it worked. So I'll put a link for the thermal fuses in the description. And yeah, just give a like. Share it if you know anybody who's having that problem, the E4 error code with your baby brezza, so that when you make your baby milk, it's a brezza. Woo! Yeah. So appreciate it. Subscribe.